Okay, now I normally wouldn't take a look at a website, at least not first, but I think it's a good place to start for this particular review. It's for Monster Toolkit, Monsters Unleashed Drag and Drop Creature Kit. It's $200, although it is a little more if you want it on CD or whatever. What it is a pack of very high resolution images to use in your movies or short films or whatever. There is things like glowing eyes, cat eyes, skin effects, mouths, noses, all sorts. So let's take a look. It has over 1,500 elements. A large download. It all together, it's nearly 36 gigabytes. So let's scroll down and take a bit of a closer look. Here's some examples here of faces and with eyes and nose and skin changed. They are high quality PSD files that work with programs such as After Effects, Photoshop, HitFilm, Apple Motion, which is only on OS 10, Nuke, Shake, and Final Cut Pro 10, though at least in Final Cut Pro 10 you will need a motion tracking plugin such as Slice X or Track X. I'll go into that a little bit more in just a moment. What's included? We have skin textures, horns, eye sockets, eyebrows, noses, cheeks, lips, ears, chins, wounds, skull parts, teeth, mouths, and not just one type of eye, but various others. So you have styled eyes, you have teardrop eyes, you have small iris eyes, slit eyes, inverted teardrop eyes, cat eyes, large iris eyes, burned eyes, mystic eyes, twisted eyes, which is, as you can see in the background there, swirly, and some mouths. So plenty, including wounds. So let's just scroll down a minute and take a quick look here. There is some training and tutorial YouTube videos on the page here that you can watch. So you have this one, create monster visual effects in After Effects using the toolkit, and create a glowing eye effect in Final Cut Pro 10 with the toolkit plus Track X, which I mentioned a moment ago. One on the site I should mention, if you go to the shop, you can find their other products which film light, grunge light, flares. There's quite a lot here. They also do music, they do some bundles, they do transitions and visual effects, which is where you'll find Monster Toolkit. Let's go now to Final Cut Pro 10. Like I mentioned, you do not have to use that program. You can use others. You can use Windows and Mac. Final Cut Pro 10 is only on Mac, but you can use a Windows program such as Premiere Pro if you choose. Okay, so here I have a little short thing I made earlier. Basically, I found some sample footage online and I've applied a tracker, and I told the tracker to use one of the red eyes that come with Monster Toolkit. Bear in mind, I have just thrown this together very quickly before making this video, so it's a little off because the woman in the video blinks, so you will have to adjust it and you will have to know how to use your tracker properly. But this is just to be quick, and then I'll show you the rough idea of how I did it. So let's just play it. Obviously, that is hanging onto her eyelid rather than quite on the eye. But like I say, it's just very quick just to show that it can be done. It can be done quick. So let's click here. Let me Command C and Command V, and I pasted another copy of just the video. Now, what I'm going to do here now is I'm going to go to Generators, Track X, and I am going to go to Track Layer. There is also Simple Tracker, Text Tracker, which is more so you can have, say, a caption with, say, an actor's name or whatever tracking their motion. So let's do Track Layer. What we do with this particular one is we don't overlap it, though you might with other plugins. This one, we overlap it as if it was a title. We then adjust the clip to the length we want. We then select here. Now we have our various shapes. Now I would select probably the first one, at least give it a try to begin with. Then we would get our size and shape here. Then you'd position it how you want it. Like I say, already I can see it's off, but I'm not going to bother. I'm just going to hit track. Okay, now reason it has this error message, this may depend upon the software you're using. In this case, it's because it's doing some background rendering of the new copy I put of the video on. So because I've copied this video again, if I scroll up, you can see this orange line, which means it's re-rendering that clip. So I will probably just pause, cut this bit out, and come back once it's done that. Okay, once the background rendering is done, or you might be able to go to here and cancel it, but I just prefer to let it go before I do any tracking. So once that's done, we hit forward track, or if you're at a different point and you need a backtrack, you can track backwards, but let's hit track forwards. As you can see, it's tracking. There's a percentage here, 8%. Now that has gone way off already. It depends upon your transform settings and your settings down here as well. I'll show you in just 1 second. Okay, as you see, at a point that tracker just goes haywire. Well, that is partly because we have options up here. Do you want to transform the perspective, rotation, translation, and scale, or just translation, rotation, or translation only? We also have down here some options. So if we click tracking options, we can do by perspective, or we can do translate, scale, and rotate. I tend to find that works better, at least when I did this other one. You can do tracking quality as well. You might want a high quality. You might want some drift compensation on. There's various options. You really have to get familiar with the tracker for doing this type of thing. Now, I'm going to forget that went completely wrong, and I'm going to go to surface. Once you select surface in this particular tracking plugin, you can see what surface it has on it. In this case, obviously, we don't want to have whatever that weird default image is, so we click here. Now, if we go to the browser, we can then, from our library, select the eye. Then we can hit apply. And there you go. That is the basic idea. Of course, that went completely haywire because I didn't adjust all the settings right first, and she blinks, which means you're going to have to adjust it further there, especially sometimes you may actually have to adjust it by using keyframes in your tracker. But you can actually, if you have somebody not blinking, you can actually create a basic eye transformation without actually much or if any experience. Okay, I'm just going to dump out of Final Cut and just go back to the website to finish this off so it doesn't lag out my laptop here, because I'm doing a screen recording and I've got Final Cut open with tracker and background rendering, and I've got a browser open, and okay, here we go. Now, as I say, you can look here at some tutorials that they've provided free here. You can then go up and see some samples. So I'm actually going to play a few seconds of that for you. So what do I think of it? Well, if you need lots of assets for your next horror movie, your next short horror, whatever it is you may be doing, and you need a lot of assets, then yes, this is good because it comes with so many different assets, so many different eyes, mouths, wounds even, and at a very high quality. Each file is high resolution, so it can be quite hard to get assets, because you have to have copyright free stuff if you want to make your movie, especially if you want to sell it and you're trying to do it as professional as possible. Then you got to want to get things like this and not just Google image it and just use any old image. You got to want to use proper stuff. So this is a way to do that. This is a way to get cat eyes for a possession scene or a zombie, whatever, and not worry about the copyright. You've got your images and it's high resolution, it's got to look good. And there's tons of different types like horns, eyes, mouths. The only thing I will say is it is quite a steep price. It's $200 plus. So if you just want, you're making a movie with some woman being possessed or something, and just for a few seconds, halfway through the movie, you want to have her eyes change white or red. This is going to be a lot of money just to have one set of red eyes. So I would go for it more if you got to have if you've got to use more than just one asset. If you've got to use, say, eyes, skin texture, maybe ears as well, things like that. Or you maybe know you've got to use this in multiple projects, not just one movie. Or unless that movie has lots of different people getting changed into different things or whatever. So I would say, I'm not going to say this is too expensive. I'm not going to say it's not worth the money. It's not the case. But you gotta have to know that you really need it to splash out that kind of money. If you just gotta make a movie where halfway through a woman has her eyes change red for 3 seconds, then that's all you're using, I wouldn't say it's worth that kind of a price tag. But if you're gonna use more than that, or you've got to use it in multiple projects, I'd recommend you check this out. It's full of high resolution monster assets, so I recommend you check it out at rampantdesigntools.com. So thanks for watching. Please like and share this video, and if you could do me a huge favour and subscribe, as it only takes a few seconds and will help me out a lot. Thanks.